What's up, guys? How's it going? We are doing another unboxing showcase review. Surprisingly, I'm doing one of a McFarlane Toys figure. I haven't done one of these before. Yes, I do collect a few of the DC Multiverse characters. It's always just been like a pick and choose type of thing just because of what has been released so far. But I really wanted to pick up this Batwoman Unmasked figure more so because we actually have Batwoman with that comic look, and it looks incredible the way McFarlane did the sculpt. I really appreciate it so much that they did this. So I am very curious to see how it is more so in hand. So we're going to unbox this figure. But of course, right now, taking a look at the box, this is your typical box for your DC Multiverse of McFarlane Toys. We always have this black outline for the entire box, and then of course everything is on right in the front from the window, as you can see here. We do get some accessories as shown from the front of the box, but on the front, as you can see, we have the title Batwoman Unmasked. The top of the box does have a window, so you can kind of see some light shining through it there. 22 moving parts right at the top right there. But we can see here on the back a nice action figure shot of the figure itself, as well as some promotion of other characters that you can find in figure form too, which in most cases all of these I've seen so far, except for this Red Hood for the Gotham Knights video game. That is actually I know it's been shipped out from a few places, but I have not seen that in the stores yet. But we've seen a lot of these as well. So here we go, bottom of the box as well. So let's take a look. As you guys have seen in my unboxing showcases, I do unbox the actual figure, so you can kind of see what goes on when you do open the box. You can see here, we got the cardboard insert and the plastic encasing, like so. The cardboard insert, actually, I will show you this. Now, I won't really take it out just because I don't use this, but we do have the action figure stand with the DC logo right there, and we do get the collectible trading card, as you can see here, which is actually from the back of the box. It is the Batwoman Unmasked figure that has more, it is an action figure photography shot. So there you go. I know there's some wording on the back of that, but like I said, I don't open those. I don't really require to need them anywhere, but that is what it is. So nice little insert right there. But we do have the figure itself. Take a look at that. So we're going to have to cut these out right there. They are actually holding everything, as you can see, and some tape holding some of the additional hands, which you normally don't see as much as well. But let's take a look. We'll unbox this right now. All right, guys, there we have it. We do have our unboxed, and we have all the accessories right here. So we are going to just start out with some accessories, just because it's little, but it's actually pretty nice. We do have some flame effects for her feet. These are actually very nice. They're actually really hard. They're not pliable in any way, so they're constructed, I guess, or sculpted very well. There is a little bit of some of the I guess it was just from the plastic itself. Not like it melted, but there are some lines in here. You don't really see it as much, but the colors of the flame actually does work well. So these are actually really cool to see for an accessory for a figure. So these actually look really good. We do have this Batarang, which is enormous. I don't know why. You know, the accessories for Batman or the Batman characters, they're just so big. I don't know what you're really gonna, it just looks funny when they hold it. It's a neat accessory though, but it's just way too big for the figure itself. So this still looks good, still nice. Size, it does not work. And on the figure itself already, the hands, we do have a pair of fisted hands, Looks very nice, very well sculpted. It looks like it scales very nicely for her body as well. And here we have the other pair of hands, which is like gripping slash trigger hands, which was another weird option to have trigger hands, because what accessory will she have for using trigger hands? It's not necessary unless I have, you know, one of like a grappling hook type of thing from my other Batman figures that I could utilize. So that's just an option that we could utilize that for, but not necessary to have these hands. And let's just say, to hold this Batarang, I guess that trigger can be useful. Can it not be? I mean, that's one way to hold it, but as you can see, this Batarang is so big. Well, it is an accessory, so I'll try to use it as much as I can, but there you go with the accessory holding hands. So here are the flame accessories for the feet, and it is quite a snug fit for that peg to go into the peg hole at the bottom of the feet. I am going to assume it goes in like this versus like that. It would only make more sense. So it does look good. I actually like it, so we could utilize that for flight stands that we have here. But this is, you know, it's always a good accessory to have some kind of effects. The only other accessory that I could say is the wings that are connected to the back, and I do not believe it's removable because I made an attempt to try, but it's not coming loose. Maybe I'm not trying hard enough or whatnot, but if you have the figure, let me know, because I don't want to break it. So there, that's just how it is. So here we go. It is articulated, in which case you can turn them completely, so you have your options of doing so. But I actually like the fact that she does come with wings. It's not a bad look. You know she uses them, but I'm trying to you know, get them in a good pose so that way it can utilize better photos. So I actually like that it comes with the wings. Is it necessary to have them completely on there like this? I don't think so. I wish it had some ability to be removed, and then, you know, you could use something else to peg in that hole that they have there. But it is what it is. You can't help it, but at least it's there for you to utilize. I also forgot to mention, there are holes in the wings right here, and there is an actual spot to hinge or connect them on. Will it actually work? It can vary, I guess, because you need to hook them on in a way where it'll stay. So when you do, it might not hold properly. They are flexible, but sometimes when you utilize the wings like this and try to hook them on, they're not going to stay the right way. And I think it's more so because you need to have them in a certain angle in order for them to hook on, because if you have them off too close or too far, then it won't work. But when you have them in a T-pose like that, they are hooked on, so they do work. So going over Sculpt, and by all means, the whole prize of this figure is this head sculpt. Unbelievable. I really enjoy the fact that this head sculpt looks amazing. I am extremely impressed with it. I love this. I hope for any future female DC characters that are made for McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, that it is just as good or better than this. This is actually amazing what was done. So the paint apps are done very well. The sculpt is beautiful. I love it a lot. So the hair, look at that hair sculpt. It's also done very well for the like short bob of a haircut. So I applaud this. This is actually very well done. When it comes to the figure itself, the sculpt is actually done very nicely. I like all the lines that are done throughout the costume of this bat suit. It's done very nicely, and I know it's basically the same figure as what came out previously with the masked head, but we got these shoulder pads that are you know, glued on, but they don't get in the way, as you can see. We actually have these gauntlets as well that are looks to be separate, but they're not, because they're just glued on from there. And then we got the silver that goes on around the belt, and we got that red clasp going on, and you can see the lines going down as well in the bat suit, so it actually looks extremely well. And then of course the boots look great too. Yes, it is all black, but it's sculpted very nicely. So on to articulation. The head sculpt. So the head is on, I'm assuming, like a ball hinge or ball joint. Yep, it's already in there. So it's just a ball, like a dumbbell joint, pretty much. You could see that right in there, and it's attached to the head, really. So all you're gonna see is that hole right there for it to go on, but you won't get much movement when it comes to looking up, because the hair is very rigid. It's not going to be movable at all, except for these little strands in the front. So you're only going to go, you're not even going to look up. That's as far as it's going to go. Looking down is a whole other story. You can look down pretty nicely. And of course you can turn the head side to side because you have the room to do so with that haircut. And there is some tilt, so there is a very good amount of tilt, which is actually very nice for some expressive emotions when you can do that there. They have this butterfly joint on both sides, of course, left and right, and it is like a hinge right there. And as you can see, the shoulder pauldron does not get in the way when you're gonna do, so you can do a T-pose. It goes up to 90 degrees right there. There is a bicep swivel, somewhat, in which case you can see how the pauldron gets out of the way when it's moving around. And then the double jointed elbows, which is always very nice. Look at that. That looks great right there. And of course we do have the ball peg wrists right there. These are okay when they're done right. I know, at least for this particular character, it's more seamless, so it actually helps hide the look of it, but it actually does work very nicely. So the diaphragm actually is not as generous as you would hope it to be, and I feel as if it's just because of the torso is much shorter. It does have a waist ball joint to mix, which I love that. I love the waist ball joint and the diaphragm joint, of course. They have the Batman symbol or Batwoman symbol is loose, so that way you can maneuver it. So you can crunch down a bit, not a lot, it's just a little bit. And you can go back as well. As you can see, that actually works very nicely. So that diaphragm joint is great. I love that. That's what I love with that articulation. That she does have that, I guess you can call it a diaper, because you know a lot of the McFarlane Toys figures have that, but it's hidden very nicely, so I'm not complaining about it. We do have I guess it's just a regular joint right there for the thigh, because there's no thigh swivel. It can almost do a split just like that. The double jointed knee as well is very, very nice and generous, as you can see. And then of course we have the same ball right here down for the ankles, which can work as well, but you gotta find that right spot to make her stand properly. And of course a toe joint as well, so because with the female figures with these small feet, it's going to be much difficult to stand The experience I have with that was from that Wonder Woman 89 figure. So let's see what we could do in regards to just standing her up and posing. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when they stand. This one is once again hard to stand up, and you got to find that right spot. So with the toe joint, which can be nice to have, but also it ruins the sculpt. Look at what happens when you try to just place the foot flat, and that's where it's flat right there, and the toe is not even going to hit the ground. That's the problem. So I'm trying to find that right spot for it to stand, so that way it will work out nicely. So you got to just twist these balls around to find that spot, and then when you do, it'll stand up. But you'll always notice that when she's standing, her toes are going to be pointed upwards because they're not flat with the rest of the foot. Not to mention that because there's no thigh swivel, I'm constantly having to try to maneuver the ankles so that way it can stand the right way. And if I'm able to get this to stand, you'll see, look at that. That's how it looks when she's standing. So unfortunately, that is a loss, or a miss, I should say, because it's you can't help it. So just for size comparison, I do have the armored Superman right there, as well as the Batman Beyond figure, just to show you. Now I do have her on a peg stand, just so I could have her standing up. Unfortunately, the peg stands work. That's why McFarlane Toys add those peg stands, because it's very much needed. But as you can see, the Batman Beyond is practically the same height as her, so there's a part of me that thinks that maybe she's shorter, but I don't know. But I still like the look overall, so I think this is actually very well done. But this is my size comparisons. All right, so I got her on this waist stand, which actually, it actually works out very nicely. So I actually hooked her on here. I think this came with like a Play Arts Kai stand, but I utilized the wings, of course, as well as the burst flame effects for her boots. And I think this is an actual pose. I actually might use this pose for the shelf. So there you go. And there you have it, guys. It's still a great figure, honestly. It's very well done. The articulation's great. And I love the head sculpt. That's the main reason of why I got this figure, is just because of the damn head sculpt. I still enjoy it. It goes well with my Batman Beyond figure, so I'm very happy with it. Yes, there are some things that need to be fixed, some things that need to be addressed. The feet is one big issue. I know we all want our figures to stand upright, especially when we don't need to use a stand. So I still enjoy it, love it. I hope you guys got one as well, but I don't know. Are you guys fans of Batman Beyond to begin with? I think it's a great addition to the Batman Beyond characters that have already been brought out. But you guys let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate your comments, but make sure you hit the like as well as subscribe if you are new. I would greatly appreciate that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope to see you on the next hunt.